I am prosperity.
Welcome back to Over the Shoulder. It's a podcast where we explore the creative mind and the creative process. As always, feel free to like, subscribe, share, do the thing. Like we want to, get this as far as possible. So if there's any creatives that I've worked with that you want to see on, hit them up in the comments, and we'll bring them on. We will. I work with a lot of people, so, if there's anyone that you ever want on, or if you ever want to work with me, reach out to me. You could be the next person on Over the Shoulder. So for today's guest, we have someone very special. And when I say someone very special, she is what I literally define as a day one, specifically for me as a director. She has seen all the growth. She was with me in the trenches. Okay, when they say you weren't with me shooting in the gym, she was there. She had a ball in her hands. We were shooting together, So without further ado, the lovely, the prestigious, the just divine Tamara Stackhouse.
Prestigious.
Yes, just listen. I rock with you heavy, Tamara. There's been a lot of growth, and I always tell people, if you had never come into my life, a lot of that growth would not be here.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
We have been growing together. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
We doing the things.
We doing the things.
And look at your studio. This is fire.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You remember the run and gun days. The run and gun. Yes. Oh, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good. We love it. We just, been like 12 hours since we've seen each other at this point?
Yes, we were running around yesterday,
doing what we normally do.
Making deals and getting to the back.
Exactly. This is what we do. So you were in a project recently in the room. So before I let you get into that, I have to give my little spiel because you worked with me on a project called Shadows, and it was run and gun. We did the things, people liked it, all that kind of stuff. But Shadows, the short films, changed my life, and it allowed me to see a lot of things. And you were kind of rocking with me that first year. This is pandemic 2020 short films. You were rocking with me on a lot of stuff. You were on my previous podcast, and you were rocking with me on a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh,
yes. And so for me, when I was writing in the room, I was writing it very intentional because I knew I wanted you to be the star of it. Because I knew, one of the things about Shadows and just my previous projects, you always tell me hey, E, this is dope, but this is how you elevate. This is how you do this. This is the next step. So it was even though the stuff we were doing was really great, you never let me settle in what I was doing, which I appreciate. I tell people,
because the beauty is in the details. So I'm very detail oriented.
You are, and you helped me become more detail oriented. And so when I knew in the room, I knew there was certain things I wanted. One of the goals was I wanted to impress Tamara. I wanted you to see the growth.
Oh my God,
yes.
That makes me feel so good.
I was I'm coming for we doing dolly shots. We doing
this
and that.
I was definitely impressed. We killed that. So
we did. And it was just I was even saying that as I was editing, I was it's just so easy to edit Tamara. Your movements are very much so when you capture the moment, you capture. It's just it's so easy to edit you. I mean, and it was I had so many great clips to always choose from. You gave me really good problems to have. Some people be hey, listen, this is the only one that works, so I'm happy we got this one. But it was I had 3 and 4 different takes. It was wow, each of these are amazing. So what's the story I want to tell? So it was really great, the consistency, because, a different angle can tell a different story.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you, as the editor, you have to make, this is the only angle that looks good. So for me, it was oh, wow, I can tell doing an over-the-shoulder shot versus doing, the wide tells 2 different angles, but Tamara killed both of them. So I have that option. So I just really appreciate working with you. I do.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to try to be open and get some tears on this interview. But yes, so in the room, you're playing Hope. I sent you the script. What are you thinking when I send you the script?
I absolutely loved it because I feel like it's a story, even though it was about an actress, which, is close to my heart, but I felt like it was a story that a lot of people can relate to. I think in every industry, everyone experiences, imposter syndrome, and that's essentially what it was about. And I got that right off the bat.
Okay, okay. So your character Hope,
Hmm.
like when you saw her going through it,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts? And then how did you think about bringing that to life?
Um, Easy peasy. Because literally Hope is me. Um, you know, you see in the film that she calls her friends, and I feel like that's something that I deal with all the time when I'm happy, when I'm doubting myself, when I'm just not sure. Um, Sometimes we tend to look for, I don't want to say like an outer validation, but sometimes you need to hear it from someone else. Am I crazy? Am I tripping? And sometimes, yes, you crazy. Like, you're like my friends, the way they feed into me, like that's what I need. That's what I deal with all the time. And so I feel like I was able to pull from straight from my life. And there are times where I completely, I don't want to say too much. Are we
I
saying
mean,
the plot?
don't like plot like
Okay, I
don't
don't want to
spoil
give
alert,
too
but
much.
yeah.
Sometimes outer voices can be a benefit and sometimes they can be a detriment. Um, so every day I'm learning to listen to my own voice, you know, but none of us are perfect. So I think it was super easy to pull from real life situations, real life feelings and moods and things that I go through and that other people go through.
Okay. So I obviously wrote it and directed it. Um, as I'm directing it, all right. So like, how did I do as a director? And that's the big question. And
I think you did amazing. You already had a lot of shots planned out when you presented the project to me. I remember us talking about different angles, portraying different emotions in the film. And so I really liked the way that you executed that. And then I liked the colors too, like the bathroom scene. Absolutely gorgeous. So I think you did a really good job. And
that,
you listened to me. I know I can be annoying, but boy, like the growth from our first project to now, I'm just like, wow, I love this. I love this. Do you feel like it was easier, or how do you feel about your directing?
so it's like it's like battling like Hercules with Hydra. It's like you cut off
Hmm.
one head and two grow,
Yeah.
because it's like everything that you told me, it made every other project I've been doing, it made it easier, but then it also adds a level of complexity because
Hmm.
now I'm doing more.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, because when I started looking, okay, I didn't dive as much into details, but now
Hmm.
that I'm diving into details, it's like now I'm really diving into
Yeah. And
details.
once you know, like once you're aware, you can never go
Go back.
back.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
just like, I think the biggest growth for me personally between my first project and now is
Hmm.
realizing I am not just telling one story in one way.
Yeah.
It's like you think about, okay, I'm telling a story like I just wrote it. That's the story. It's like, nope, I'm also telling a story as a director. Okay, yep, now I'm telling a story as a lighter. Okay,
Hmm.
great. I'm telling a story now with framing. Okay, great. Now I'm telling a story with sound. And it's like
Yeah.
now it's 5, 6, 7 stories on top of
Hmm.
each other. And it's just like, without that level of,
Well, you know how to fix that.
well, yes,
Delegation.
delegation. So for me, I'm building my team. So
Yeah.
like, after In the Room, when I did my next two projects, like Poor Mind
Mm.
and British, like
Hmm.
I used In the Room.
British was hilarious, by the way. I
British,
absolutely love that
yeah.
concept.
Ooh, yeah, British was that was like me being crazy. I was so happy that people rock with
Yeah.
it. Um, but it was like I used that as like, I had like Caitlin was doing the sound
Hmm.
for In the Room. I was like, okay, I want you DPing British
Hmm.
and I want you ADing Poor Minds.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm gonna, like, if you have any questions on set, ask me. You know,
Yeah.
you're only getting sound credits for this one, but like the next project that we're doing in a few weeks, you're gonna be taking on this one. So when I did Poor Minds, when I did British, it was a little easier because I had someone who was like, they were on top of that, and I didn't have to be on top of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, because for me, it's like I could. It's like a dual-headed monster again. It's like I could go out and be like, okay, I'll get a great DP, I'll get this and that, but I'm so big on culture and people fitting in and comfortability. It's like I'd rather just lend my talents and like, okay, you've never done this before, but okay, at least I'm here.
Yeah.
And if you mess up as a DP, okay, I've DP'd hundreds of times, so like I know I can like catch those mistakes.
Yeah.
And you know, like I almost like want to build it in house.
Yeah.
So I'm big about that.
Yeah, you are big on that. I will definitely say, like, I feel like I've watched firsthand how you cultivated the team that you have now, you know? And some faces have come and gone, but the ones that have stayed, I can definitely see how you guys have grown together. And like I was telling you yesterday, like, to know you is to like have like an inside joke or like a insider, you know, and it's like you have that with everybody on your team. Like you kind of have this connection with each person. So I really admire that, and it shows. Like if you were on the outside looking at it, you can tell how you have each relationship with each of the members on your team. Shout out to the team, okay?
Man. Fire Nation, man.
Yes.
Fire Nation. I literally call this Fire Nation. Like that is not a joke. Fire Nation.
Big Aries energy over here. Okay.
Right here, both Aries. You know. Yeah. So it's been beautiful. You know, you're part of the team. You know, we got what, 1 million more projects left to go at least. So thank you for telling me. You know, I do. You know. While we don't do it for validation, it is nice to know
sometimes
that, like...
listen, what was I saying earlier? Sometimes you need to hear things, okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
But those things need to come from within as well. Yeah, so
they do. So I appreciate you, while you give me my flowers, you do also say, you know, again, pay attention to more details. Like, you know, so, and again...
I'm like, ooh, you're going to have a time editing this. You need a slate. I need a call sheet. What do I wear? Call you at 2:00 in the morning. So, hey, I'm looking at...
Do we have the flowers? Do we have this?
Do I need to bring something? Like, yeah, so...
Yes. But, you know, we a little bit better, you know, we're getting better. You know?
No, a lot better. Like, even, I don't know if we want to put this in here too, but even yesterday with the commercial shoot, like, all the props, like, everything was just ready. Like, we weren't missing anything. We weren't, like, I feel like it just makes it so much easier and flow, and then you're able to have fun and have those conversations that we always have on set. Like, so.
Well, that, and for me, that was always a big thing, because you know you can go on sets, and I always say the director sets the tone and culture for the set. So you've been on sets that are like very stuffy, and it's just I mean, like I said, the project might come out dope, but that's the director. I'm not saying there's good pros and cons to both approaches, but I like for my sets to be fun. I like for people to connect. I love that, like, I've brought sometimes multiple people together, and they've met on my set, and then now they're doing projects together because they met on my set. Like, I love that. I love building community. I love for people to become friends outside of this. Like, you know, so I'm big on that. I'm very, very big on that. So when you pay attention to the details and things run smooth and everyone's not freaking out because they're missing, you know, the main prop and stuff like that, it creates like the ease. And I feel like the actors can kind of just, you know, be in whatever their flow state is, because every actor has their own process. So you don't want to disrupt their flow state, you know? So I've done projects where I've had like people, like, again, they're on my crew, but then they're also like, this project they're acting, and they'll be like trying to worry about something they were doing crap. Like, listen, you talent today. You talent. I need you to be talent. Like, I need you to be here. Because I've had projects where they're not that, and you can see it on camera, and I'm just like, no. I got it. Like, don't worry about it. You're this character. Be this character. Like, you know, you're not sound today, so don't worry about how the sound is sounding. Just do what you need to do. So I definitely appreciate that. So when you were reading the script, and you were acting out the script, what was like a moment or a scene, or, you know, something that just really stood out to you? Like, maybe you were excited to be like, oh, I can't wait to do this scene, or, you know, just give me that.
You know what? I'm going to have to say, I was definitely excited to work with my partner again. Shout out to Stanley. So, knowing that, uh, we were going to be flowing off of each other's chemistry and stuff like that, I was really, really excited to shoot with Stanley and to see what that relationship was going to look like. So, yeah.
Okay, that's actually one of my more favorite scenes in the film. Actually, my personal favorite line is in that scene. Because again, you and Stanley were both in shadows and stuff like that. So Stanley's obviously like, he's been in every project. He will continue to be in every project. He's my best friend too.
Yeah.
So it just works. You've heard of Denzel and Spike Lee. Stanley, Denzel, Enoch, Spike Lee. And so just having that scene, like I've personally witnessed like Stanley pour into you and stuff like that. When times where like, this game gets hard and it's like you don't know, you're in confusion or it's this state, and Stanley's like, nah, Tamara, you're hurt. You're this and that. And I've seen that, and really that character, that's what he was. Like I balanced it out very, like how you're saying that I'm trying not to give too much away, but the internal and external, I had, opposite forces on both of them. And so he represented the external positive force of pouring into like, no, like I'm your agent regardless if you get this role. And he has said that like sometimes a win is just getting in the room.
Yeah.
And I don't think
and that's facts. That is facts.
That was literally like, that's the reason I wrote for that line. That's the reason I wrote the entire film. Because I think we think about the things of like getting the role or getting the success or getting this and that. But like when you get in those moments where you're in a new experience, that's what changes you. Yeah. It's not the money that changes people. It's not the notoriety that changes people. It's being in the room with people you had never been in a room with before. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is different. You walk in and people are like, wait, they're treating me like this, because you don't ever forget that. It's like, I tell people it's like flying first class for the first time. When you fly first class for the first time, coach did, and you be like, main cabin 3, you're like, I got to get out of this real quick. And it motivates you, like, how can I always fly first class? And then, don't fly private. Don't fly private. Oh, it's a wrap, because that would like, it's a wrap,
For your baby.
But like that stuff would like change you forever. So, like I said, to people, it's flying first class. It's getting in the room. So I literally wrote it for that, even though I know some people at the end resonated with Faith and her talking about that train. That was like, when we did the premiere, that was the line everyone was like, oh my God, I love that. Just coming to the train station. I mean, again, that was one of my, I can write, a little bit.
It's an Enoch saying for sure. You have a particular voice. Yeah.
With my writing, I I'm very poetic. I'm very like.
I could definitely, if I could pick out
an Enoch script.
Yeah.
No. And I love that. And then you always know I always have my little like twists and plots. Like you always know, like, hey, this might not be real. Like it's a thing. So, but I love that about like my stories. It was kind of funny because when I did In a Room was very typical Enoch film. British was not. Poor Minds was not either. Yeah. So it was just like, I kind of gave y'all like 3 different feels. Because, I can write a British. I can write comedy and stuff like that. It's just, I actually call comedy is kind of hard to write. Because it's hard to like make people laugh.
Yeah, I feel that way about acting. Like doing comedy. Like a lot of people say or think that dramatic acting is harder. I think comedy. But I feel like we all, whatever your method is it's easier to identify with that. But to be able to make someone laugh, I feel like that is a gift, unmatched. Like you gotta be some kind of special, I feel like, to be like a true funny comedian, for sure.
100%. Because let's just say, if I want the audience to cry, all right, so all I gotta do is I gotta get them high. I gotta get some good news. All right, they need to meet the person that they love. Oh, he's so charming. Yeah. Okay, cool. Or they get the news roll. All right, now the audience is here. Yeah. All right, let's throw in something devastating. Let's, a flag, somebody dies. This and that. Okay, now the audience, they're rooting for this person, or they come across this, their boyfriend cheating on them. Yeah. That's easy to bring out emotion there. But laughter, it's like, what makes this line funny? Like, first of all, and it could be funny on paper, but the actor could suck. Because laughter is all about timing. It's about pacing. Honestly, it's even about angles.
For real.
Like, there's this scene in A Few Good Men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't handle the truth. If for the audience,
Yeah.
you can't handle the truth. But it was a Broadway play. That was like the first thing they did before it became a movie. And there's a scene in there where it's like when they did on Broadway, it like kills every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's laughing and all that kind of stuff. But when in the editing, when they made it a movie, instead of it being like, Broadway's stage, you can see this big wide, you can see both characters. What they did is they chose to do it over the shoulder for the edit because it fit better with the story.
Mm-hmm.
But because the character they chose to do over the shoulder was like it became a serious moment in the film. And it's like, and the thing about it is the same actor who did it on Broadway is also doing it in the film.
Interesting.
And it became a serious moment. They got and like the first time they aired it, they were expecting people to laugh.
Yeah.
And no one laughed. And so like the filmmakers were like, oh man, did we screw
yeah.
up? Like, so but angles make a completely different, like I love a good reactionary angle. Instead of like the person actually saying it, let me let the other actor, whose reaction, because reactions can be real funny.
Yeah.
Especially when you have someone who they're like big, like you can get really big when you want
Yeah.
to. You can be small when you need to be, but like I love a good, like, let me put it on your face. Like when Tatiana's character was saying some stuff, I'm like, let me throw in Tamara, because like she gonna give me that
the
face.
The facial expressions, baby,
yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, I was so impressed with you in the film with how your ability to stay in character, because we had some goofballs on set. Riku was definitely being a goofball because he was reading some characters and he was reading them in a very ridiculous way.
Oh my God, yes.
And I was just like, how is she not laughing? Like the entire crew is about to die laughing right now.
Listen.
And you are in it.
I'm like, I was laughing on the inside. Look, I had a mask on. I was laughing on the inside. I'm like, I'm going to save this for later. Like, he is a fool.
I was like, I don't know how she's doing it. If I was in your position, take
Everybody
3.
Was like,
why are you doing a nasally voice right now? Like, why?
He's something else.
He is.
It was giving a little bit of Shanae. Like.
It was.
That boy is something else. And he was cutting up the whole time we were on set.
Yeah. But again, I like to have that freedom, you be able to be yourself. Like, I want people to come in and we're a true team. Like, I want you to be, some of us are going to be, we're the 96 Bulls. Some of us, it's time to be Michael Jordan. Some time to be Scottie Pippen. Hey, listen, you want to be Dennis Rodman, be Dennis Rodman, And so, I like for people to do that because everyone kind of knows the role and what it is and their place and, And I'm the type of director, like, I don't mind feedback. Like, because I do definitely believe that while I haven't.
I think you take feedback really well.
Thank you. Well, I mean, because I feel like feedback is growth. Like, in my opinion, there's no such thing as a perfect film. So, like, the only way to ever achieve a perfect film, even though there's no such thing, is to listen to the people around you because everyone is seeing something from a different vantage point. Yeah. So, like, I can't be everything. Like, even though
other people, because everyone's standing in different positions, like, they can see something that maybe you can't see.
And also, I'm in it. Like, I done wrote it. I'm in my mind. It's alive. I'm seeing it. I'm in the moment. So it's like when someone does say, hey, this is not, that's why on set you were like saying some things. I was like, that's interesting. Like, let's go for it. Yeah, let's go for it. And I was listening to actually like a Christopher Nolan interview for when he did Dark Knight. And, Christopher Nolan, like, he's the gold standard in Hollywood for being a director right now. And we were talking about Dark Knight, and it was Michael J. White's character. He's playing this, criminal underworld. And he was talking to Christopher Nolan. He was like, okay, so it's the scene where the Joker comes in and he like, says, I have a magic trick. He does that scene. But he was like, beforehand, he was like, so what's like the conversation happening beforehand? Are we talking about something serious? Is this a lighthearted thing? Like, what's the mood going into before the Joker comes in? And Christopher Nolan was like, I never really thought about that. What do you think it should be?
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Like, but it's like allowing the actors to like put your spin on it. Like, we're so thinking about 150 other things.
Yeah.
Like, it sometimes really does help. I think actors sometimes think they're being annoying, but if you're invested in the process the way I'm invested in the process, how can I not respect that?
Yeah.
Like, if a director gets mad at you for that, I'm just going to say they're a dick at that point. Because it's like, if it's a good, like, hey, have you thought about what's my character? What's my motivation? What's this and that? What's that scene? It's like, sometimes we didn't. We just knew this scene is going into this scene.
Mhm.
So like we do want to lend upon the act. That's why we choose the actors and the
Yep.
casting and all that kind of stuff. Like that would how we're telling you like your 7 stories in there. You're telling a story. Like that's a story that I can't control.
Yeah.
Like how are you gonna like? You could have made Hope something completely different.
Yeah.
She could have been like that movie could have been completely funny because it's like, girl, why are you going through so much when you got good news?
Yeah.
Like you got the best news of your life. So or your acting career, and you going through it.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that's how it is. We're scared of moments. You know?
Oh, trust me, I know. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, you know, but you know, you might be scared of moments, but you always deserve to be in those moments. Like, cause again, I knew it from the first moment. Like, again, I cannot express how much you changed my life. Like, again,
oh my gosh.
Like Shadows, like I said, you know, it was a movie and stuff like that. Like, I told you the opportunity. I got to shoot at this place that was super scary, creepy, really dope. But I had like 3 days to be able to I had 3 days to be able to shoot this actual scene, or else it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so, but within those 3 days, I had to like write the script, and shoot it, cast, do everything in 3 days, and like all my people who I had, and again, it wasn't a Rolodex that I have now, but it was like all my people like for leading ladies were not available.
Yeah.
And it was like me and you had just talked once. We did not know each other. I am a stranger, and I am Instagram calling you. And you know, as you said at the premiere, you know how crazy you gotta be to Instagram call somebody?
I'm sitting in the bed, and I normally don't. I normally wouldn't, but I did. I picked up.
You picked up.
Like, what's that?
Yeah. And you were ready to go. And you did amazing. And I literally, after that movie, I got the place I shot, I ended up, because Stanley, he was there in the movie. He met the owner of the place, because that's just Stanley doing Stanley things.
Yeah.
And I got a studio there. You know, the studio completely changed the trajectory of what I was doing. Like, I wasn't even thinking about, like, getting a studio at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I was just thinking, oh, I'm just going to keep doing these little, like, short film projects, all this stuff. But the studio made me, like, first of all, studio, you have the studio space, but then it became like, okay, let me collaborate with more people. Like, then I really started, that was probably the first formation of, like, actually beginning to build a team and not just being by Enoch in every single thing, like, actually lending myself. Yeah. And, like, that comes with you answering a phone call. Yeah. Like, you putting trust in a complete stranger. Yeah. Which, again, if you want to answer that phone call, I would recommend you don't answer an Instagram phone call. Like, a random director, hey, you want to be in this movie? This and that. Like, I would recommend to every young lady not to do that. Even though it worked out great and me and Tamara have an amazing friendship, I would recommend y'all still don't do that.
Don't do it.
But you did, and you took a chance upon me, and it's like you kept taking chances upon me, and you know I kept pulling through, and you really.
And we've been rocking hard. We work on different stuff all the time. Like even if it's not film, you just shot me for an event that I did. We do commercials. We've done 1,000,001 photo shoots. Working, filming for games, or you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So I love that. I love where we have grown, and this has been an amazing partnership.
It has. So I love how we're both growing. I think that's like, just again, it's like if your friends aren't growing with you, it's like that's a hard place to be in when you're here and you're growing and your friends aren't growing. So it's like I love that our trajectories have been so aligned.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Because it's it's always great. Like it's always gonna be an adventure with Tamara in the best of ways. Like every single time.
In the best of ways.
In the best of ways.
It's going to be an adventure.
Oh, it's going to be. It's going to be, but we're going to get it done. And it's going to be great. And so the last question, though, I always got to ask this. This is the most important. All the rest of the questions don't matter. It's this question. How was the premiere party?
It was lit. It was lit. Everybody was looking good. I loved all the films that you showed. They each had a different personality. The vibe was really cool. I felt like the venue was extremely unconventional. It was lit. I had a time. I had a great time.
Thank you. Because we were thinking, boy, I was like, why not? Why do one film? Let's say 3. It was
not? like a film festival.
It really was. Like, maybe, is that a thing?
Is it a thing?
Is it a thing? All
Is
right,
it a
stay tuned
thing?
for, MountainTop Studios Film Festival coming everywhere 2024 apparently. Listen, you know how my mind works. Yeah,
Yes.
when the idea comes, it's like, why are we not
It's
doing
happening.
this?
Exactly.
It's gonna happen tomorrow. At this
Exactly.
point, I was like, oh, okay, let's film 3 films. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And let's make it happen. And they are gonna be great. Oh well, pretty
Yeah.
great. I was proud of myself. I was proud of myself.
Look.
Pat on the back, because there was at some point.
Pat yourself on the back of the
I
head.
literally I was in the room like imposter syndrome. Like, I was like, you know what? I just told people we're premiering something. I didn't say we're premiering 3 films.
Yeah.
The audience don't
know.
know.
I didn't even know. Well, I didn't know actually. You told me.
But they did. I was like,
but
listen.
I forgot.
I was like, hey, listen, we could premiere one thing and everyone's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
They don't have to know. But then I knew I wanted to premiere 3 things.
Yeah.
So I was like, Enoch.
So they got a 3 for 1.
I was like, don't get no sleep tonight. This and that. You're gonna thank yourself when you get all 3 of those, because I think there were like moments like you don't know until you see the audience's reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the room, like we actually at the premiere party, the worst thing ever happened to me. So the worst thing, because people would perceive it as worse. The film cut out, like the sound just cut out. I don't know why the sound cut out. There was nothing wrong, and when I edited, exported it out, I had played it back. Whatever reason, I still haven't figured out the problem. But it literally that clip.
I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
That clip still plays, like, and it plays sound, but for whatever reason. I mean, I'm gonna say this this God needed me to see that moment, because one thing about In the Room is it's very much so it's the details. It's very it is kind of slow, but it's like I wanted it to be slow intentionally. I wanted it to see you kind of dive down into the madness of your own thoughts. Yeah, and you again did an amazing job. Like just understanding the assignment A++. But in there the film cuts off, and in my mind, we're like 10 minutes in. I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is really good. Like, even I've seen it, like, I was like, this is really good. But I don't know how the audience is feeling. I
knew exactly what you were getting at.
And when it cuts off and the entire room is like, no.
Yes.
I'm like,
they were in it. And it was a pivotal moment too. And it actually made me feel good too. That's so crazy. We were both feeling that, because the way that everybody was so invested, and they're like, fix it. Like,
what is happening?
Like, we need to know what happened.
Yeah. I got so many calls up, like, dang, like, were you freaking out? I was like, no, I was thrilled. Like, y'all wanted to see this film. Like, sometimes people just come into premieres because it's free food and free alcohol and free vibes. But it's like the fact that you're here and you're invested in the story and you want to see what Hope's journey. I was like, oh, we did what needed to be done.
Yeah, that was a bit of a confidence booster too. Like, I loved hearing everybody's reaction, and once we got it together, the feedback for the film was excellent. Like, the event was really fun. So,
and I knew when they had got there, because my favorite scene that I shot was the end scene. That end scene, how it worked out, when I was able to, because it was all those cars. When I got to the sound, I was able to get those cars out. I was like, oh, we here. We in it now, because I knew the scene visually was gonna be dope. So I was like, if I can get y'all here, y'all are gonna be like, and then the plot twist comes there too. I was like, it's a wrap at this point. Yeah. So that was beautiful, beautiful slide. I'm like, not. But I was like, I knew if I could get them there, that it was gonna be good. But it was like, can I steer it to where the audience is engaged enough to really be following Hope's journey? Yeah. And they were. So I was like, okay, you did your thing. Like, again,
thank you.
I say this, I think I said this to you multiple times, but I tell it to everyone. I say, you're the best actress I've ever worked with. It just is. It just is. Like, it's just something. It's just, you understand this time. You ask the right questions. You're engaged. You're there. You always bring.
The rest of them are gonna beat me up. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, hey, listen, let them be true. But it's so many things, because people reach out to me all the time, like, hey, I want to act. I want to work with you. I wanted this and that. And it's like, everyone said, why do you work with the same people? Or why do this and that? Because first of all, it's like, I know what to expect. They understand the attention to details. The energy, knowing the lines, knowing the roles, you asking the right things, I'm rewriting the cameras, there's so much, you getting along with the other crew members. It's just it's literally a pleasure and an honor to be working with you in those moments. So it's like someone, when they say they want to work with me, like, I'd be like, hey, you going against, you're battling Kobe Bryant right now. Like, what? Yeah, you battling Kobe. So I mean, you gotta come Michael Jordan really at that point. Like, you really do, because like that's the only person competing with him at this. If you ain't coming that, like, you know,
that is so special.
it
Thank
is.
you, Enoch.
You know, but I gotta let them know, because you come and you understand, and you're always there, and you're always there in like your highest form of self. And I don't know what you'd be going through in your personal life, this and that, but it's like I would never know, because you always come and you're there and you're in the moment with us and stuff like that. And, you know, I know that we all have lives, we all have things that are happening to us. So I always appreciate when someone gifts me their time.
Wow.
You know?
Thank you. Thank you for always speaking life. And wow, I didn't even know that. So that really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you for being Hope and always following me on these crazy, wild adventures that we have. So I appreciate you, Tamara. Like, you're the best. I love you. I do.
I love this little thing we did.
Yes, it's in a moment. And for the audience, so thank you for tuning in to another episode of Over the Shoulder. We had the powerhouse Tamara Stackhouse here. She talked about her role as Hope. And, you know, as always, like, comment, share. If there's anything she said that you want to, like, say, girl, so what was it really like to work with Enoch as a director? Are you just saying that?
I'll tell you the truth.
She'll tell you the truth.
Yeah, hit me up and I'll actually tell you the truth. No, you are wonderful.
Thank you. So as I always say on this, that's a wrap.